Sally that girl in the kitchen. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sally that girl in the kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to make a princess pull-me-up cake. These cakes are super popular, and the video I made with my chocolate glitter tsunami cake is constantly getting views. So apparently this type of cake is something that people are really interested in making. And I find that a lot of people are really secretive about the toppings that they use, and they don't really share all the details. So I'm going to teach you how to make a beautiful princess pull-me-up cake, which of course doesn't have to be a princess. We call it princess because I'm going to be using a dome shape to make the cake, and it kind of resembles the dress of one of these beautiful princesses. But the truth is, you can make this cake without the princess on top. You can add something fun if you want to make this cake for a boy and you want to just maybe add a sports car or something fun. You can basically use your imagination and do anything you want with this cake. Now, today I'm going to be making a vanilla cake, and I will attach the video to that recipe because I'm basically going to focus today on the topping and how to make this dramatic tsunami or pull me up presentation. So you can make this cake using that vanilla recipe, or you can also make it using my chocolate cake recipe that I use in my chocolate glitter tsunami cake, which I will also attach to this video. Whatever flavor you decide to go with, this is going to be so much fun. So let's not wait another second and let's get started. For the tsunami topping, you will need 1 cup of white chocolate chips, a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, edible pearls, and edible glitter, both of which, of course, are optional. Now, I do recommend that if you're going to be serving this to young children, then you may want to substitute the edible pearls for a different type of topping, such as maybe nonpareils or cookie crumbs or something that is a little bit softer, because the edible pearls do tend to be a little on the crunchy side. You will also need a couple of wet measuring cups, a whisk, and either another wet measuring cup or any small jug with a spout, a spoon, a 3.5-inch diameter biscuit cutter with high sides, and a dome mold that is 7 inches in diameter. I happen to be using a silicone dome mold, but of course they also make them in metal. That would be fine too. And I also recommend a cooking sheet to put under the mold for easy handling. Of course, you'll need some oven mitts, and then you're going to want a topper for your cake. You can order some of these beautiful princess toppers online, or you can cut one out and make one yourself. I decided to go with a print, and I covered it with contact paper, and I attached a popsicle stick to it that I trimmed to size. I usually like to reserve the smaller ones for when I'm making cupcakes or a smaller cake, so I decided to go with this bigger image instead. And as you see, all I did was fill my dome with the batter from my vanilla cupcakes. It's exactly the same recipe, which I will of course add to the description of this video. The only change would be that since I'm cooking all of the batter together in one mold, then I increased my baking time to a full 60 minutes to allow my cake to bake. And then it comes out golden and beautiful. And of course, it does puff up in the center. So what you're going to want to do is when you turn this mold over onto a cooling rack, you're going to let it cool completely. And then once it's cool, you'll just run a knife and cut off that excess part so that you have a flat bottom and you have a perfect dome. And I love the effect that it gets with this silicone mold because it gives it different shades. It's a little darker in the center, as you can see, then it has an area that's a little lighter, and then it gets darker again. And that really makes for a beautiful, dramatic presentation when we put the topping over it, because it really feels like the fabric of the skirt is shaded. It's gorgeous. Now, I will mention this is a small cake. As I said, it's a 7-inch diameter and it's a dome. It's not super tall. So of course, if you wanted to give it more height, you could do that by just baking a round 7-inch diameter vanilla cake. And then of course you could even add buttercream between those two layers if you wanted to, and just stack them one on top of the other to make the dress a little bit taller. The recipe for my buttercream is also in that same vanilla cupcake video. It's called Vanilla Cupcakes with Rainbow Buttercream Frosting. So if you wanted to add height, you could always do that. So let's move on to make this topping, because I'm super excited because this cake is going to be so absolutely adorable. So I'm using these gold edible pearls, and then I'm going to be combining them with the white ones, because the white ones have this like beautiful pearly feel to them and just a beautiful sheen. And I really love the combination of those two tones. It just really makes this skirt feel as if it's decorated by a fancy designer. It really just gives it an incredible effect. So I just mix two colors together, and of course you can go with whatever colors you want. And then I'm going to be adding some of my edible glitter, which of course is also optional, and it just gives it a little extra something to that beautiful topping, just a little extra sparkle, which I love so much. And I'm using also both a little bit of a white tone, which is kind of like a shimmery, pearly kind of color, and then of course I'm adding a touch of gold, and then I'm just gonna mix all of that together, because what I'm doing is I'm just kind of coating up these edible pearls with just a touch of that edible glitter. Really, it is going to be so beautiful. You're gonna absolutely love the effect. It just looks absolutely adorable. So once you've combined all of those ingredients, what you want to do is measure your chocolate chips into a wet measuring cup that is microwave safe, and then you're going to warm it up in the microwave. Really, you just want to warm them up a touch. About 30 seconds is more than enough. And then once you pull that out, you want to warm up your heavy cream. Now this you're going to warm up until it's nice and hot. So about 2 minutes, but I always do it in about 30 to 45 second intervals, because of course you don't want your heavy cream to overboil. So now for this particular cake, I'm going to be using a biscuit cutter that has high sides, because I want it to be able to hold that beautiful tsunami topping. And then what I do is I put it on top of my cake, but if I just placed it there, my topping would leak out of the sides, because of course this is flat and my cake is in a dome shape. So what I do is I gently press it into the cake, just a touch, just enough that it stays secure and that all of the sides are inside the cake, just very gently and not very deep at all, just a touch, but enough to create a seal. And then of course I take my beautiful princess that I prepared with my printout, some contact paper, and that popsicle stick that I cut down to size, and then I gently put it in right at the center of my cake. So there she is, ready to get dressed for the ball. I can't wait. It is so cute. You're gonna love the effect. So now we have our white chocolate chips that have been warmed ever so slightly, and we have our heavy cream that is nice and hot. So what we want to do is we're going to take that hot cream and we're going to pour it onto those chocolate chips, and then we're just going to use our whisk to combine the two. But what I'm doing here is I'm creating sort of a runny white chocolate ganache, because what I'm doing is I'm using 2 parts white chocolate to 1 part heavy cream, as opposed to my normal ganache, which I would use 3 parts white chocolate to 1 part heavy cream. So this way, my ganache is a little more runny, which is usually the opposite of what you want, because if you want your ganache to set, of course you don't want it to be too runny. But in this case, we're making a runnier ganache because we're gonna pour it on top. And of course, we could use some food coloring and just add it right into this topping. And then of course, just mix it in to get whatever desired color you are aiming for. So in our case, we're going to use just this ganache together with these beautiful pearls to create a beautiful effect. Honestly, it's going to look like a fancy dress that has been beaded. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So what you want to do is very carefully, you're going to add some of this delicious topping right on top of your cake. And you will not use all of the topping. You're just going to use enough for it to spill down over the sides of your cake. And of course, you'll notice I moved to the back, a little bit on the front, because I don't want to get it all over my beautiful princess. And then of course, this extra topping, then you can serve alongside your cake when you serve your cake, and people can just add some more on top of their own slice if they choose to, or you can just use it for 100 other things because it's absolutely delicious. So now, of course, I'm going to add my beautiful edible pearls and my edible glitter, and I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to go around ever so gently, and that's why I use a container with a spout, because it just makes it easier to control where I pour these beautiful pearls onto that beautiful topping. And I just can't wait to show you what this is going to look like because it's just so adorable. You're going to be fascinated by it. It's so beautiful. So just pour them all around so that you get a beautiful effect on all sides of your cake. And then once you have all of them in, it is time for our reveal. The little girl in me is super excited. Okay. So here we go. This is the best part. You serve this in front of everyone and they are going to be oohing and eyeing. Wow. Look at how pretty that looks. It just drips down the sides of the cake ever so gently. And those pearls tend to concentrate close to the waistline and they just look like a beautiful gown that has been beaded with just the right amount of pearls dripping over onto the sides. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed with this little cake. I think it is just so beautiful. It's easy, it's dramatic, and who would not love this adorable cake? I mean, any little girl would be fascinated with this cake. And the best part is they can participate and pull up that biscuit cutter and watch that beautiful tsunami topping just flow beautifully down the sides of the cake. It really creates this absolutely gorgeous presentation, and really it's interactive and fun. What is more fun than a cake that's interactive? And really it's just a dramatic pull me up presentation that everybody loves. No wonder everyone is so obsessed with these cakes because they're really adorable. And that touch of glitter that I added just gives our topping an extra little shimmer. It just makes our dress look extra special. And honestly, I really feel that this just looks like a beautiful lace gown that's been beaded, and maybe just it has an effect almost of tulle going down the sides. And of course, the shading on the cake works perfectly because you have a lighter part in the center and then that darker part. It just looks like a fancy, beautiful fabric that we ordered from Paris. It's just a gorgeous effect and it's just so pretty. I really think that anyone you make this cake for is going to be over the moon. So honestly, I just can't get enough of her. She's so cute and I just want to see her in every possible angle. She's just beyond adorable. She's fancy, she's perfect, and let's not forget, she's delicious. I made her with that delicious vanilla cake and that incredible tsunami topping with white chocolate. It is going to be a delicious cake, not only beautiful. So, as I always say, enough observing, and of course it's breaking my heart to have to cut into her because she's so cute. But cakes are, after all, made for eating. So here I go. I'm going to cut in and grab a slice of this delicious Princess Pull Me Up cake that is not only beautiful, but it's really, really delicious. And of course, like I said, since I'm using these edible pearls, yes, they tend to be a little on the crunchy side. So of course, keep that in mind. If you want to serve this to younger children, then for sure use nonpareils or use a softer topping because this is definitely a little on the crunchy side. So I served myself a piece and I cannot wait to take a bite. The smell of vanilla and of white chocolate is absolutely intoxicating. It's just filling my home with an incredible aroma. I'm so excited to try this. It looks so delicious. Amazing. So delicious. That vanilla cake is absolutely perfect. The texture is divine. It's light and fluffy. And of course, I love that little crunch I get from those edible pearls on top. It's just such a beautiful cake. So tasty, so good, and so cute. It's just a perfect little cake. It's adorable. Everyone is going to love it. It's fun. It's got that gorgeous presentation to it. You really can't go wrong. It's just a super cute cake. And of course, like I said, you can grab some of that extra beautiful topping that we created and drizzle some on top if you want your cake extra delicious and extra moist, because that stuff is gold. It is so yummy. You can drizzle that stuff on anything and it will make it even more divine. It's so good. So didn't I tell you this was going to be so much fun? It really is an incredible presentation, no matter how you decide to present it. Whatever you choose, it's going to be dramatic and fun. I mean, how more fun does it get than chocolate oozing over your cake? And you can add sprinkles, you can add crushed cookies, you can do whatever you want with this topping, and it's so much fun and you get to customize it. That's what's fun about this cake. And of course, remember, you can do it in vanilla, you can do it in chocolate. Whatever you choose to do, you're gonna have fun with it. A great idea is actually maybe a little dump truck on top. So it kind of gives the effect of spilling out its contents. And maybe for that one, you just wanna use white chocolate and crushed up Oreo cookies. That would represent the dirt flowing over the cake. You could get super creative with this cake and you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Trust me. No, better yet, don't trust me. You're gonna have to try to make this recipe yourself. And of course, if you've enjoyed today's recipe, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And remember to subscribe to my channel and to touch that little notification bell for so many other amazing recipes that I already have up on my channel under my video tab, and of course, so many more that I have planned for you. So don't miss out. And if you're not already following me on social media, you can follow Sally That Girl in the Kitchen on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can follow me as Sally That Girl FL on Twitter, Snapchat, and on TikTok. See you next time. Sally That Girl in the Kitchen.